in the place that we are, in the Victoria Navy Museum, there are so many inspiring places. And it's a fascinating museum, not just because of the exhibitions and because it's wonderful pianist in residence,
It's a very
but
kind
because
idea. Thank you.
so we switch from Spanish to English.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Always.
My broken
Yes.
Spanish.
And yes, I suppose my next question, and it's inevitable, what would you say? You'd probably have a very, very long list, but I thought it would be interesting to find out for Antimo, what are the most influential piano compositions that, and I would say three, just so that you don't, because choosing one would be a bit too hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
In any time since childhood or until now, the ones that have influenced more your thinking, the way you think, the way you feel the piano, the ones that have influenced the most your career and your life.
Yes, I would say you are absolutely right. It's a very long list. It's an endless list, and I wouldn't just name one composer as a reference, because it would be kind of diminishing the importance of the millions of influences I've absorbed, not only from the composers but also from artists as well. I still remember that one of the most absolutely appreciated quote by my master, my piano teacher, was that the best piano lesson he received was in the museum. You know, just looking at
Is that
pictures.
what she said?
Yes, absolutely, because he would be influenced by visual arts. Hello, sir. Yeah, I work for the VandA. Thank you.
But then you had an inspired teacher. Then.
Yes.
Because that is my type of answer, because in the end everything is connected. So for example, so far, my career has been in architecture, and now I'm working on my piano compositions. But and I've got to segregate these. So for example, I'm dedicating a channel now specifically for the piano, because I have been advised that this is the right way to do it. But for me, it's all part of one. My drawings, my architecture, creation, or ideas, or my music, is all part of the one music. It's all part of one thing. It's an inspired mind and an endless search for truth.
Yeah,
I would say.
Absolutely.
And there's truth in so many different aspects in life.
It is very true.
So that was very wise.
Talking about, yes, absolutely. I'm still treasuring this wonderful quote. So, talking about back to the composers, that I would just indicate as just a point of reference, but not exclusively. Those three that I'm about to mention. One is Bach, by coincidence, just because you are an architect and an artist, you will easily understand why I am mentioning Bach, because of his invisible architecture music. I think I read about an experiment they conducted in the USA that someone rendered Bach's music into graphic visual structure. As a result, it was a facade of a beautiful building, you know, because the Bach structures are perfect, absolutely perfect.
Is the structure
very well balanced, the shapes and the content, the form is absolutely wonderful.
It is. One could say even divine, actually. And it is extraordinarily
Divine, yes.
Mathematical
Yes,
as well,
yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
So that's exactly right. It's interesting that you say that, because I chose, I once did a work that involved architecture and music, and sort of that classical rhythm, and how you could.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wonderful that for a composition we could choose a building that reflects the soul or the synergy or the rhythm of the song?
Yes,
that would be really wonderful.
Also the harmony, the combined the harmony that is like observing a constellation of in Italian we say corpi celesti, so it's galactic elements like orbiting. It's absolutely a beautiful, an ideal, a divine architecture for me, Bach. The other one, of course, it's modern, is a French composer, is Debussy, Claude Debussy, because of the dreamy atmosphere, which massively influenced my mood, not technically the type of style that I consider my style, but is a massive influence, Debussy. Also this liquid sound, very flowing, very tidy sound, very moody. And a contemporary one is definitely Philip Glass. Philip Glass is one of my most important iconic figures that massively influenced my compositions.
I was just laughing now because you've got a mirror here. There's symmetry happening, and I would choose as well. Probably, I mean, I haven't had to choose, but you've chosen some composers certainly that have been a huge influence in my life, because
well, I'm glad.
Unlike you, I grew up in a family that my grandfather played the piano and the violin.
Okay.
He had two pianos, and so I've got this magic memory of entering and him playing Chopin. So that was quite inspiring. And while I was little, looking at his sculptures that were hung at the height of a children's height. So the sculpture, the bust of a person would be standing in front of me while I was listening to Chopin. And you know, that's the way life should be, surrounded by art and surrounded by inspiring things.
True, yeah.
But in my house, there was classical music like non-stop, 100%.
Yeah.
And so I've got everything here. You play anything, everything here.
Yeah.
I know them all. I may not always remember the names of the composers, but it's like I've got it all stored here. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But as well, Bach obviously is a classic. But certainly Debussy and Philip Glass are some of my.
So they are all different. Bach, Debussy, and Philip Glass.
My most close. Yes, composers, I would say, most influential.
I listen to all type of music, of course, including very weird, sometimes heavy metal music, but just out of curiosity, because music for me is just expression, probably the most sublime expression of human beings, because it's something that I witnessed over time. I play sometimes in public spaces like here at the VandA, and the way they respond to music is just kind of cancelling their roots or geography. So no matter if you are from Mongolia or from South Africa or the Caribbean or Europe or whatever, music speaks to you straight. It's very straightforward language.
Yes.
So this is the reason why I don't make any discrimination or selection. I am a classical trained pianist, so I come from the Academy of Music, very rigid education, classical Italian, in the classical Italian tradition. But regardless of my background, I learned how to absorb music from all over the world.
Yes, yes. No, it is really interesting as well that you go from music to architecture and so many things you've said as well. Because that I was just saying this. Yes, I was just saying because I was recently interviewed about this architecture magazine Modulo, who are kindly doing an issue about my architecture work, not my piano, but they did mention a little bit of music, and they were asking some similar questions. So there's so much resonance with what you say and the relationship in between architecture and music that is just incredible. And how interesting that I've pursued my inspiration through art and music in architecture, but now sort of I find a real joy in creating music because it is universal.
Yes, absolutely.
It is universal.
Yeah.
So to understand my expandable origami, you would see it, but you'd
Expandable
probably have to
origami,
read.
fascinating, yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably have to read quite a lot about my geometric. I've got this theory of geometry of infinites, but the music, regardless of anyone's previous knowledge,
Yeah,
it's you play it and you either feel something or you either don't.
absolutely.
And it connects you straight away in. And what you were saying as well about different types of music. So for example, I love world music.
World music, yeah.
And something I've learned to treasure quite a lot is just listening to the sounds of life, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I got a son that is called Resonance, and he was just talking to me about some projects. We might talk about this another time, and how inspiring it is to capture the sounds of soundscapes of life around us.
Yes, definitely.
So
Definitely.
that is fascinating.
Now, speaking about the universality of language, we come from a different background. I'm Italian, you're Spanish, even if it's not that far as culture, but also the path you walked is different from mine. But when I had the pleasure to listen to your music,
Oh, bless you.
it was something that truly spoke to me, even if we are different. And your music was very spontaneous, and it spoke to me without any type of filter. So I was catching this. You were telling a story, and then I think you explained what was the content of your inspiration, what triggered some type of reaction in order to, just inject the inspiration in your composition. But I didn't pay much attention to the content of your explanation. I kind of, on purpose, I just ignored it, just for the benefit of just absorbing the music that you were producing at that time. I really, really, really enjoyed the fluidity, the flowing, the smoothness of your message spoke to me in a very clear way. So congratulations. We want to hear more from you, actually.
Antimo, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Esther. Thank you for having me, and just an honor to be interviewed. And I'm pretty much sure that we will come up with some ideas.
Yes, I'm sure.
Together.
Yes, no, well, thank you very much. Antimo was referring at this time that he was invited to the Newton Manor Hall by the wonderful Alan May in the Isle of Purbeck to do a concert, and I also played at the beginning of the concert. And I think you were referring particularly to my composition of Fluttering Wings and Flickering Lights.
Yes, you told the story about also seagulls, some birds on the water.
Exactly, which is very much capturing that experience. And I've got a piano tuner that he is quite wise. He's incredible the way he plays the piano, and he's got a very special touch with the piano. And he once heard my music, and he said that it was full of freedom and expression. He said,
it is very true. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I really appreciate your words.
No, I strongly encourage you to produce more and share this with the world.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm doing unexpectedly. I never set up to do this, but it's happening because it's interesting. But don't you feel that sometimes composing or playing is just like breathing air?
Yeah.
It's just like breathing air. It's that
Absolutely.
it's in you, and it's like entering a state of mind, and that state of mind is addictive. It's almost like
It's
meditating.
addictive, yes.
You just want to be there
Yes, yeah.
because it's a magic moment. It's a dreamy moment, isn't it?
There's a visual metaphor I always carry with me, which is related to the shape of the piano that I anticipated before. For me, is a vessel. So I always imagine to be the captain of this vessel, to take you on board, welcome you on board, and together we go somewhere, which I don't know where absolutely, to discover something that we will see for the first time together. So my kind of responsibility is just to take you by the hand and be your captain, but I don't want to give any instructions about what you're going to hear. We will discover this together because it will be exciting for me as well as hopefully for you as well, you know?
That's meaningful in so many ways. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we will all go in this journey with you.
Thank you.
I have been already in a couple of journeys, and it's been really special. And how wonderful that you use this analogy as well, because I started selling in the last few years.
Yeah, it's just before my eyes. It's just I'm just projecting this just before my eyes. It's very present. It's always there.
And also the idea of a vessel in a water. Well, water is something to be very respectful of, but I just started sailing a few years ago, and that song "Fluttering Wings, Flickering Lights" was inspired on that experience. And there's something magical about being on the water and having these pure sounds, especially when the engine is off, particularly when you are sailing.
Yes, absolutely.
That connection with nature and harnessing the force of nature to move about.
Absolutely.
But
much
also,
respect for the.
I think we've got
nature,
a lot
absolutely.
of respect.
Yes.
And also, interestingly, we were talking about architecture and music, which brings me to the following question. Could you choose, because it could be that there would be many, could you choose the most important sounds, sounds that have inspired your compositions, but also architecture and spaces that have inspired your compositions?
Quite a few actually. First encounter I had with the architecture, I was very young, and I was quite obsessed with the USA because I wanted to attend a master in piano in the Juilliard School. Actually, I did the admission, it was successful.
In USA?
Yeah, in the USA, in New York.
New York.
So I went to the Juilliard School, but I decided not to carry on with the master for many reasons. But anyway, the first encounter I had with the architecture, apart from my country, so Italy, it was the Guggenheim Museum. So this evolving shape, round shape of something that it was ascending, spiraling around me, it gave me the dizziness, the vertigo, you know? And this was something that triggered some kind of reaction and inspired me very much to transform this sensation of rotating into music. So it's a pattern I've been always fascinated with.
Yes.
This was my first serious encounter with the
contemporary architecture.
Yes, yeah. It was the still remember the Guggenheim Museum.
Yes.
Generally speaking, I'm obsessed with space. My sweet obsession is architecture because you can create an environment and you can transform this into music. There's always a sonic identity to be attributed to a space. In this case, the form of elements combined together, the harmony of the architecture. It's fascinating. I don't know much about architecture. I just appreciate it, but I don't absolutely know technically anything about it.
I'm so quite really eclectic about architecture, and in the end I enjoy so many different things. A bit like music, I listen anything really.
Yeah.
Pop, world music. Classical, guitar, folk music. Folk music is particularly great live. Well, all music is best live.
Yes. Yeah.
But coming back to architecture, it is incredible how a building or a space can change our state of mind. And in the place that we are, in the Vittorio Navi Museum, there are so many inspiring places And it's a fascinating museum, not just because of the exhibitions and because it's wonderful Pianist in residence,
It's very
but
kind of
because,
you. Thank you.
but because the building itself is fascinating, and
Yes.
even the courtyard itself, there's that pond, and it's like a little oasis in the centre of London.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I once met a lady there, and actually she was from Liverpool. There's
Oh.
so many coincidences.
Yeah.
Because when I finished writing a book I published about transformable architecture, the broader structures, I came here always at the end of a project. I tend to come here to sort of like go through the project, reread the final drafts.
Yeah.
But I was talking with this lady, and actually she said something, and I don't know, this person was completely stranger, but I quote her because I thought the sentence she said was just so meaningful. I even wrote it in my doctorate, in my Cambridge PhD. And she said, it happens a few times in a lifetime that one comes across a space, an architecture that has the ability to change your state of mind as a landscape would.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an architecture that can change your state of mind, and a music that can change your state of mind. So that is fascinating. That's fascinating.
So I think we will come up next episode or in the near future. I'm pretty much sure that we will be working on something.
That would be really wonderful.
Yes.
And do we have time for?
Yes.